Hey everyone, welcome to the Stuttering Skater YouTube channel. We are currently on my extremely high-end budget review set. As you can see, business is booming. So we have upgraded to not one studio plant, but 2 studio plants. Kind of a big deal to make sure everyone gets the full effect and appreciation. So I'm going to move this skate over for a second. So we have the golden pothos, which is relatively new. I've been trying to take care of it. I don't think this yellow leaf is a good sign, but I'm trying. If anyone has any tips on how to not kill things, please let me know. Drop it in the comments after you like and subscribe, of course. We have the old reliable snake plant, which has significantly deteriorated in health as of late, I will say. Probably taking more action, but because people told me that it's impossible to kill snake plants, I'm going to see how this goes and kind of see if they were correct or not. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Tempest Ivor 90. Before we go any further, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Skate Pro, who was generous enough to send me these skates. Link will be in the description below. Today we're going to do like a full-on review of this skate. I've skated it in multiple different setups and variations, and I want to give you my feedback on how this skate performs overall. We're going to be going through the shell, which is the hard plastic outer layer. The skate, its structural integrity, and ultimately will make or break your skating experience. The liner, which is the inner foam material that goes inside of the shell, so that you have a comfortable fit. The frame, which is the bottom part of the skate, which holds the wheels, attaches to the boot. The wheels and the bearings as well. The price point, who this skate is for, who this skate isn't for, and ultimately how it performed. This shell, you may be thinking to yourself, this looks very familiar, and that is because it is. Probably gonna edit most of this out because this is too much information. And this shell is an open source mold. What an open source mold means is that anyone who is starting a skate company can go to a contract manufacturer and say, we would like to start a skate brand. There are these open source molds on the market currently. Are you able to produce this for us? That if you wanted to start a skate brand and name it the Epic Rolling Experience, I might want to trademark that. Please don't steal it from me. You could technically do that and choose from a couple different open source molds that are not owned by individual entities. This mold is one of those molds. And this shell is the same exact shell as the RP Cruiser made by Rollerblades. This is a good shell. This is a very decent shell. It fits on the wider side. So you can see that the toe box area is fairly wide, which if I want a comfortable skate and I don't want to give my feet a hard time, this is going to be the option I choose because it's comfortable. It adds a little bit of room, but it still has enough support in the ankle area. Felt that this shell was a little bit on the softer side as far as an urban skate. An aggressive skater is still going to find these to be pretty stiff. But as an urban skater who's typically skating in like extremely hard and rigid plastic, this was on the softer side for me. Next, we're going to talk about the liner. So keep in mind that this skate is a budget skate. This liner, I don't know all of the specific materials in here, but the first thing I notice is that there is fairly generous padding on the sides around the ankle and in the heel area where it's comfortable out of the box. And then they also have a neoprene toe. If you have a larger foot and you are on the higher end of that size spectrum, a neoprene toe will help it be comfortable, essentially. There are some ventilation holes on the bottom, and then there's a very, very basic insole that also has some ventilation holes. It's not gonna be the most supportive liner, but again, this is a budget skate that is really targeted at an entry level customer who's just wanting to get into it, essentially. For what it is and how much it is, it's about what you would expect. What is premium about this skate is frames and the wheels. For a budget skate to come with decent wheels, so these are 90 millimeter 85A wheels. The best wheels I've skated on, obviously. For a budget stock skate setup, these are fine. They come stock with ABEC 9 bearings. They worked really well for me. They felt really, really quick out of the box, and I enjoyed it. Something that I really enjoy about an urban skate that has a little bit of a longer frame. I think it gives the rider a lot more stability, a lot more room to learn, and their mistakes are not going to automatically mean they're going to have high consequences. Because it gives you a longer platform, and you can have an element of flow. It gives you more fluidity, more speed. It's easier to stride longer. And I'm just a big fan of that as a whole. Main reason why I was excited about this skate when Skate Pro asked me if I was open to reviewing it is because of the price point. I strongly believe that everyone should rollerblade, and my entire goal in sharing the videos and on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube is to try to grow the sport in every way I can. The reality is that sometimes our sport is not very cheap. There are a lot of skate companies out there who only have like fairly expensive skates, which make it very inaccessible. I think that more companies should invest in good, solid options that are upgradable, which means you can interchange certain parts in order to upgrade the skate. Ultimately, make decent products that a beginner or someone who isn't sure if they want to invest a lot in the sport is able to just give it a go without a lot of consequences, essentially. I also think, and I receive like messages all the time, like saying, I really want to get into skating, but I don't have $300, $400 to spend on a pair of skates. And I think that that's totally valid. I got my first pair of skates at the beginning of COVID. I ultimately spent like $225, and even that for me, it was a big investment. And I was like, I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this for, or if I'm going to really enjoy it. I think a lot of people who are unsure, that's a big consideration. This skate, which is a 4x90 millimeter setup, starts at, I believe, about $180 to $190 or so. Any other 4x90 stock setup on the market starts at, you know, $250 plus, at least, if not more. So for someone who wants to get into the sport and just see if they enjoy it, starting with a skate like this that comes with pretty solid stock parts at an accessible price, I think is huge, and I think is important. Kind of highlight who I think it's intended for and why I think it's a decent buy. If you are either a beginner or someone who's trying to get into inline skating / rollerblading initially, and you're unsure, but you want to make a purchase that you can feel confident will give you a decent performance out of the box, but can also be upgraded, the Tempish skate line is going to be for you. It's accessible. It is, you know, relatively inexpensive, and for what it is, it's good value. After that, if you want to start, you know, to interchange parts, you can begin to do that. Hopping out a liner is, you know, something I would suggest doing. And then if you want to try putting on a different frame, you can just unscrew this. There are 2 frame bolts over here. You can unscrew the frame bolts, which, give me a second. Hopping out a liner is, you know, something I would suggest doing. And then if you want to try putting on a different frame, you can just unscrew this. There are 2 frame bolts over here. You can unscrew the frame bolts, which, give me a second. I'm going to try to do this quickly because I know you're in a rush and I know your time is valuable. As is mine, it's just not as valuable as yours. The frame and throw it on here, and I'm so popular. I'm getting a call. Hopefully that didn't interrupt the audio. So here, we're gonna screw this in, and then we're gonna screw this in. And then these wheels don't have any bearings in them, but you know, you would put them in here, pop in a liner, and then you just have a completely upgraded skate. Find out what you like and find out what you don't like, but this is your foundation and your base. And you like are confident that this is a sport you really want to invest in, can invest in like a better boot as a whole and have all of the interchangeable parts that you have decided to test out on this skate. I know it's overwhelming sometimes, and I know that for people who are not in the skate industry, it can be a little confusing. This skate, out of the box, it's really fun, it's really comfortable, and it's at an accessible price. And I think that that is the most important part of everything, honestly. But anyway, I digress. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me today and talk about rollerblades and inline skates. Thank you so much to Skate Pro for sponsoring this video. You can get 10% off on pretty much anything off of the site. It's not just skates. They sell skis, bicycles, scooters, apparel. What else do they sell? It's a very expansive site, guys, okay? Thank you so much for watching this video. Click the like button if you like it. Subscribe if you really like it. Tell your friends, I guess, if they wanna purchase a pair of skates that is fairly accessible and pretty solid out of the box. One other thing I want to point out, which I'm gonna get a tool for, because I need to take out a wheel to show y'all. The tool, there's a tool. How lovely. No, we're still rolling 7.